Stormy, you're not helping, son. We need this trailer. Excuse me. I can take it out, and once we go pick up the animals, the pigs, whatever we decide to get. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a little project. We need a small livestock trailer. My son is in 4-H and he's going to be doing the pig squeal, they call it, where he'll get two pigs to raise. They'll do a show and auction them off, whatever. But anyways, I don't have a livestock trailer, but I have a utility trailer and I got build materials. So let's see what we can do. And it's not going to be pretty, but we'll try it anyways. Stormy, you're just a butthead, you know that? You just think everything's yours, huh? Alright, as you can see, we got I think this is like a 5x10 or 6x10 trailer here that we're going to build this on. So let's grab some materials and we will do some measuring and we'll see what we need here. Alright, so I'm probably going to do like a 4x8 little box here. Well, actually I might do a 4x6 because look at this doofus here. Because I got some fence pickets that I'm going to use for the sides. So I will probably do a 4x6 so the fence pickets will fit. Do I have a dork head like him for these two the pigs we're getting? So they'll be little when we get them, of course, but then they'll, you know, we'll only carry one to the auction and the show. We won't carry them both, so 4x6 should be plenty. Now, he's climbed out of this pen before, but let's see what he does. This is usually our what do you call it? Sequester pen, or when we get a new goat that hadn't been around here before, we isolate them. And sometimes if we had a goat here that had trouble having babies that we had to get put down, we had her in here and she just keep her away from him because he won't leave him alone. All right, let's measure out 6 feet here. 6 foot. Alright, y'all don't give me a hard time about using them Ryobi. They're cheap and disposable if you need them. I don't use this every day, so I'm not a professional. I don't need the professional grade one. If I was a contractor or something, yes, but I'm just a everyday non-construction guy. Alright, let's get this cut. So we're going to cut the insides to 48 inches, 4 foot. Width doesn't really matter because I have long enough boards. So I just need my width to be 6 foot. That way the boards fit for the fence boards that I have to use as temporary sides, or actually permanent. Anyway, so, you know, if I really needed 4 foot, of course I would cut it down to 45, so I'd have 1.5 inches on each side, but that doesn't really matter for this. So we're just going to do these other I got 2 more 8-foot boards right now, so we'll cut these down into 4-footers. As you can see, who just escaped. God, this guy is hard to keep in. Of course, they say, you know, if the fence won't hold water, then it's not going to hold a goat. And I truly believe that with Mr. Stormy over there. Started for you, and then I'll. Excuse me, you can't be chewing on that. These ain't good for your teeth. I'd expected that of Stormy, but not you. I'd expected that of Stormy, but not you. All right, I got some scrap here, fence boards here. So there's going to be our uprights. And then we can reinforce these once we get everything up here. But of course, these are like 3/4 inch, or the thicker ones. So this should be okay for what we need it for. So I'm gonna cut these in half, so we'll have a 3-foot tall, 3-foot tall area here. But like I said, there's no really good plans here, or plans at all. But we will see what we can do, get what we get, and we'll be sure to reinforce everything to where it won't come undone. Would you get off my trailer, please? I'm just going to nail these in with some galvanized common we got here. I got a little 2x2 here, so I'm not sure how exactly big these pigs are going to be. They'll probably be around 50 pounds, but I'm not sure how, you know, how far they can get through here. So let's just do a couple nails in here to get us lined up. I got these ladybugs in y'all's neck of the wood, which I don't think they're actually ladybugs. I think some kind of weird beetle, but invasive. Meow. All right, let's get on to the next side. All right, this is kind of what we're up to now. So these here, let's go back a little. So these here are your standard 6-foot privacy fence pickets. Okay, they're 6 foot, 3/4 inch. These are the heavier, dirty ones that I had left over when I built my privacy fence over this past year. So see, I got space in between them. That's about 1.5 inches, give or take, and you see both sides. So we've got the sides here, and I'll run that 2x4 here. I'll run it across the top up here to make it more sturdy across the top. I will use the back of this trailer as the gate, so I don't have to put a gate here, but I'll butt it against this gate here, and I'll have it ratchet strapped down to keep it secure, so it won't, come loose and they go sliding and they have an open back or whatever. But anyways, so this side and the other side are the same. It's just 6-foot pickets that I've nailed here. I don't know, it ain't straight, it's not perfect, but it will definitely get the job done, especially since I had these pieces left over. I had bought these 2x4s for another project a while back that I haven't done, so I'll try to get more of those later. But yeah, the privacy pickets are some I had left over from this past year that's been sitting in my garage, and I hadn't had any, didn't have any plans for them right now. But so yeah, this is just what I have here. What I had left over, like I said, these pickets were from fence last year. These are from another project that I didn't use yet. So I guess technically I bought them for this, but I bought them probably 2 or 3 months ago, and they've been sitting on my driveway over here. Anyways, my son, I guess he got tired and went in, but this is for his project, his pig project, like I said. And we can even use this for goats if we decide to buy more or sell more, or if we buy another kind of smaller livestock animal. This will do just fine. But yeah, so let's keep going, and let's try to get this thing knocked out. Now, fence pickets are probably not practical to buy to do this. These thick ones are like $4 a piece. But I wanted the thicker ones when I built my fence. But so they're 6 foot, and like your 2x4s come in 8-foot lengths. Is usually like your cheapest. Usually 8 foot is like your cheapest or your smallest cut, and those are anywhere from $5 to $6 depending on where you're at, and could be even more or less, whatever. So I'm using these fence pickets here because that's what I had, and I've already, like I said, I already mentioned that. So that's reason why I'm using these here, and they're good treated pine, so they'll be okay in the weather. They're not going to be on the ground. They're not ground contact. But anyway, so back here, okay, we're back to the front now. So of course, this is about 4 foot. I'll measure exactly, and I can cut them to length. So I was able to do four up the side here. So I'll do 4 up here, and then I have some welded wire and or fence wire, whatever, I'm gonna put across the top here. Just to use because I don't have enough these fence pickets to go across the top. And I'm not sure if these pigs will be able to jump, but my luck, they probably can. They're probably daggum trapeze artists. They'll probably end up on top there. I'd really love to put this guy right here in here, and there's this girl over here. I just can't leave nothing alone. She was trying to get my screws a minute ago. Y'all just make yourself at home. I couldn't get my Ranger, my Polaris Ranger started, so I had to couldn't get my Polaris Ranger started, so I had to pulling this trailer down out of the field by hand, and I didn't really want to mess with getting my truck out here, but probably should have pulled the trailer out of the pen here, but I don't know, just it's not very far from my garage here, so I'll try that. But anyways, let's get to the front here. I'm fixing to scare all these goats off with my saw, probably. Daggum goat. She's always trying to eat my screws and my... Don't get out of here. Come. Get. Get, you turds. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, we're right at 4 foot, which that makes sense because this piece here is 4 foot. So let's cut these 4 foot and be done with it. I'm going to use screws on these pieces here. Just want to reinforce these here. Okay, so I made a mark here right in the middle, 3 foot, with this 6 foot board on both sides. And I'm going to put this board here across the top so I can lay my fabric across the top, my welded wire fabric, fence wire or whatever. And then that should be close to wrapping it up. So let's do that right quick. There you go, and stuff you ain't supposed to be in, you turd. Alright, got some more leftover pieces. This is a deck banister for your stairs or for your side of your deck, whatever. Built the deck this past summer for our pool, so these are just leftover parts I had. So don't have any other use for them. They're treated lumber, so they should be good. I'm gonna put them on the side here to kind of tie all these side pieces together, that way to give it a little extra strength. Okay, so I wasn't really thinking too well. Should have just done 4 foot across here because I got some 4 foot fence I need to put on top. But it's okay. We still got some scrap. I'm gonna put it inside here. That way we can staple it to it. That way nothing goes to waste. You want to fight? 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 All right, so we're just finishing up here. Let's get these cut here. All right, just to keep anything in. All right. All right, guys, so here's it. So we're 6 foot long here. We're about 4 foot tall here. I'm sorry, 3 foot tall here. And 4 foot wide here. Got 4 foot fencing on here. Leftover I've had for years. These are picket fence or privacy fence pickets that I had left over from building a fence. These 2x4s I already had for another project, but I've had them for a while and I haven't used them yet. Anyways, I'll use the gate here as a door. We can always add a door here if we need to. And I'll hammer these down just to get them out of the way. So that's our finished project. Took me all day. Of course, it takes a lot longer when you're filming, but guys, anybody could do this. I had limited hand tools. Of course, I had battery powered stuff already had. No help from the goat here. He's being a turd. Anyway, just already had the screws and the staples just from other projects over the years. I had these inside here. These are the balusters or whatever you get from the deck, like I have on my deck over there. Anyways, just stapled to the top. Nothing's getting out of here, guys. I got 2x4s here. So anyways, I already had the trailer. Didn't have to buy the trailer. Of course, if you buy a livestock trailer, you know it's going to be several $1,000s. New ones are not cheap, and used ones a lot of times are not cheap either, and they are in rough shape. Here I will. So this here is I can take it out, and once we go pick up the animals, the pigs, whatever we decide to get later on, we're definitely getting pigs for the 4-H project. But I will just ratchet strap this to the trailer, butt it up against this back gate. That way, here's the gate opening here. Like I said, we can always add that later. But guys, you know, you can do this. I did this in one afternoon, even while filming. Had a little bit of help from my son. He did his best, and I thank him for that anyways. Of course, it's his project anyway, so I'm glad he helped me out. Anyways, had some help from some goats here. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. This is probably one of the longest ones I've done. You know, this is for future use. We'll probably go in January and get these pigs for 4-H, but I want to knock this out while it's still tolerable temperature here in Alabama. It's supposed to get very cold here soon, so I hate doing this kind of stuff when it's real cold. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you to my subscribers. We're over at 150 subscribers now. So we can just keep knocking them out, keep growing this channel, and thanks to all of you for doing that. And also, please support your local 4-H, your local FFA. Get these kids involved with this stuff, farm projects, because you know a lot of kids nowadays have no idea what farming's like, or owning animals or anything like that. And of course, you know, farming is more than just animals, but it's crops, it's fish, different things. There's cattle, horses, goats, sheep, and they all can serve a purpose. You know, and plus they're fun to have, and you know, that next generation needs to learn this stuff. So please, if you can, please you know, support your local 4-H group, your local FFA, and help those guys out. And you know, I was a member of FFA and when I was in school, and I thank God for that opportunity to be in those classes, and my advisor, great guy, and helped me out a lot. Big influence on me growing up, especially my high school years. But anyways, I'll catch you next time, and I appreciate